although during this conference we're seeing that the evidence base is mixed, the interpretation of that evidence is difficult, we're seeing so many different innovations, so many different approaches to telehealth that I think within 3 to 5 years we will wonder why it is not, why it was always an issue in the past, because I think this is definitely the future, and places like the UK and also other countries in Europe and the US are leading the way.
The government has published a concordat, and you have written that you felt that not enough evidence from the pilot studies has been published. Just to explain a little bit about that to us.
Well, I think it's very important that we understand the evidence, because if you take the evidence at face value, you might make a strategic decision for an investment on the basis that you're seeking to achieve reductions in mortality, reductions in hospitalizations. But you need to see the evidence to look at how the intervention was undertaken, what sorts of investment is required in order to achieve that, and so on. And without the depth of the evidence, people might be making decisions based on the headline findings that they may find later, as a more problematic proposition to put into practice. So I think if we publish the findings sooner rather than later, it's going to help people with the information they need to make better choices about how they go about developing those strategies.
Is this still something for the techie and digital enthusiasts, or are we seeing that patients are really engaging with it?
I think when patients are engaged in understanding the nature of the technology and how to use it, then they embrace it quite willingly, I think, because they recognise that it's not that frightening when you get to understand it, and secondly that it's really going to support them to manage their own health and therefore feel more confident, less stressed. It supports their family as well, knowing that these individuals are going to be looked after, so families and their carers seem to like this a lot. But having said that, I think you're right, a lot of the strategies, a lot of the developments are very much led either by industry or by the technology enthusiasts, and I think there's an important element that the King's Fund can help with in translating that information into readily understandable approaches that would sing to patients, sing to commissioners who want to actually put money into this. So it's the language you use and the way that you put your case across, I think, is very important.
It's a very tricky political and economic time for the NHS. Is this really going to be a priority by the commissioners, whoever they are? Is it something that they are going to invest in right now?
Well, they should. I mean, I think the problem that you have with the short-termism in budgets is that when you are under stress, things like telehealth or things like the integration of health and social care tend to fall away as key priorities, and you end up focusing on the core business in hospitals or in general practice. But we're not going to reach a more sustainable, more cost-effective health and social care system until we invest in new technologies or in new approaches that keep people out of expensive facilities such as hospitals or long-term residential home stays, and re-engineer the system so that people are more able to live at home and in the home environment where they feel safe and secure. And in the longer term, that is going to be far more sustainable proposition. So somehow we need to turn that question round to say, if we don't make the investment now, what is the future cost that we're building up that we won't be able to meet?
So what do the King's Fund see as the main benefits to having a conference like this, which brings together international enthusiasts as well as those from around the UK?
Well, what it does is bring together a range of different individuals from different parts of the group of people who are really interested in this question. So it brings together commissioners, it brings together clinicians and general practitioners, it brings together academics, but more importantly it brings together industry. And bringing all of these individuals together in a conference like this really doesn't happen in other sorts of conferences. So although there are lots of innovations on show, lots of discussions about how we mainstream the new technology, make it more cost effective and useful, at the same time it's the convening power of a conference like this that brings together people who have potentially different motives in what they want to achieve in telehealth, and bring them together to have discussions about how we can implement what might be a very useful or very elegant technology from the industry side, but actually translate that into what's going to happen in practice, which is a little bit more messy, a little bit more real in terms of the way that care is provided. So the ability to convene people both in person, from a range of different countries, and also online, it's a real smorgasbord of activity. and we hope people will get a lot out of it.